afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, dear integral fellows. My name is Marek Vich. I'm from Prague, and my topic is about sort of vision of how it might go, of this process of self-managing organizations might continue. I will also focus on cryptocurrencies and blockchain, which I personally feel as really important part of this whole process. So, as I said, I'm from Prague. I work as assistant professor at the University of Economics in Prague. I have never been so much into economy, actually. But somehow I survived. And now I have opportunity to... Now I have opportunity to do what I like in here and create what I like to create. My expertise and also the PhD was around the relational mindfulness. That's what I'm mostly into so far. The relational mindfulness is about development of mindfulness, that is the present, non-judgmental and kind awareness during the social interaction. So we created an 8-week program called Relational Mindfulness Training. This is my university. And I am also part of several local self-managing projects. I say also experiments, because self-management is experiment in this time. The first one is Mindfulness Club. We have founded it in 2016, and so far we have done 3 annual big conferences, and we are building the ecosystem for all the mindfulness teachers, coaches, and therapists in our country. I was not so happy with development of this project when I was so-called founder and CEO, so I decided to let go this role because I was not happy. And now the project is self-managing, or it tries to. This is the newest team. It's something like a week-old photograph before we did our last conference called Mindfulness Con. And to be honest, when I was heading to this conference, I had no clue how it will develop, because I didn't have a control, you know. I didn't know how the food will be, how the place will look like. I didn't know many things. And it went well, because people were creators and they put their best into it. Another project in which I am is called My Refresh. We offer complex development of the companies, from body, physiotherapy, to mindfulness, psychotherapy, etc., to nutrition, whatever. And recently we have started to switch on self-management as well. And you can always see how the energy changes in the room when you just offer people, okay, no more of this machine kind collaboration. Now we try to create together. So this is My Refresh. This is another company called Mission Hero, which focuses on personal development and creation of new projects. I've also recently became a member of that, and this is the Deep Planet Music. It's the self-managing underground projects, and we organize the electronic music parties, especially the psychedelic trance. I don't know if any one of you is familiar, but psychedelic trance is wonderful because it connects our deep roots and past, how we celebrated the earth around the fire, with the vision of enlightened and technological society. This is the psychedelic trance. This is me in action, I guess. When I was asking myself, what is my flow in the organizations, I realized that my biggest flow and input into every project where I came is that I can connect with the purpose of the projects. I call it the spirit of the organization. And when I connect with that, I know how to help others to connect. It's quite simple, and that's in which I would say I'm good. In the other things, well, sometimes, but I'm not in such a flow, so I tend to procrastinate. I tend to sometimes say, oh shit, why I'm doing this, that I don't like it so much. So I like to shine in the organization, and I like to tune up to the organism. And I'm also tuning up not only on the organism, but on the higher hollands, because those higher hollands tell us what are the purposes of the specific companies. So this is how I do. And what is the story of our time? There is a lot about that we live in the critical times. So how I feel it is that there is the ancient old tree, and this tree is dying. Yeah, it's actually not so much a tree, it's a machine, It's really a heavy machine. We have learned so much by creating this machine. I do not say in any way that it's bad, but on the other hand, few clever guys cannot solve the mystery of life, and few clever guys cannot say what is best for others. Perhaps we are more and more aware of that. We are more and more aware of that people are something else than just those formal roles in the organization. People relate. People spontaneously create different structures. So our world is burning, we can say. We have issues, we have problems, and the tree is dying, and there is only question when and how. Is it already happening? I feel it maybe does. What can we do with that? The answer, I would say, is life. Because life always continues. So, okay, one tree is old enough, but another organisms are spreading. And it's not like one centralized tree in well-controlled garden. It's something else. There are many organisms, mosses and flowers and whatever else, you name it, And those small flowers are the self-managing projects, actually. You can see it in here. So many people here are talking, okay, I want to transfer my company to the teal. Yeah, I'm also doing teal. I'm a teal coach, whatever else. So many people around do that. So I feel it as this process. It's something else. You don't need any commander to tell you, okay, do your teal this way. We're just doing it because we feel we want to do it. We like it. We want it. And these self-managing organizations, just really briefly, I think the key points of these organizations. First one is maximization of purpose and wholeness of all members, which are included, all stakeholders. No hierarchy of power. Of course, there is hierarchy. Hierarchy is in nature in life, so there is. It's not an anarchy, but no hierarchy of power. No one sitting there and deciding, you do this, you do that, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. The principle of co-creating. So we are not employees, we are not employers. We are not exporters, importers. We are just co-creators of both products and structures. We have flexible role in the leadership. So, okay, one day I am the leader, but another day you can be. It does not need to be all the time that I am leading the sessions and meetings. I can switch it to others. It happened to me recently in Mindfulness Club, and it is such a relief that now you see that meetings can go without you, and the other person is perhaps better for you. That's why I told the guys in the Mindfulness Club, my dream, what is my dream? My dream is that all this can function completely without me. That's the ideal state where I would like to go. Because the nature knows how to grow, so perhaps these companies as well. And we go where the flow is. So no more this thing like we go to the job because we need money, but we are bothered by that. We just go what we like. And but there is one sort of issue with the self-managing Okay, maybe before I go to the issue, I will tell that as I perceive it, that when the organizations will be stable enough, they will start to relate because they are part of the higher holon. They will go deeper. They will develop even more into the bigger organisms. Nobody will sort of direct it. I feel it's just already happening that these projects with similar purposes will go together. And go together globally, not locally, because we have the internet. We have many possibilities. I'm not sure whether it was Ken Wilber or perhaps maybe somebody else, but this person said it was not possible in past to get together the projects globally with the same purpose. It was always like there was some spark of something, but it was not possible to connect it with other projects because they didn't know about it. So it was in the noosphere, it was in the air, but there was no possibility of connection. But not in this time, there is possibility. So we can do it globally, and I feel that is the way how the even bigger and more healthy tree can grow, and can grow entirely bottom up. But can our self-managing projects be truly free today? That is the one thing I would like to point. Perhaps there are some reasons why they cannot be, and one of them is this huge bureaucratic system. So you can have beautiful free culture and company, but you do some mistake, and then another stakeholder comes who has power. He has the key to power in your company because you are related to this old tree, and he says no. And what can you do? Nothing. And if you oppose, what can you do? The company is closed, or the project is stopped, etc. We've been talking about these autocratic systems coming into power in many countries. It is also part of our country. The good point is that we have one political party which is quite into self-management. That's nice. So it's not so bad in our country, but so yeah, this I think is one of the issues and one of the challenges which we need to deal with in order to be truly self-managing. And what can perhaps help us in this way is blockchain. Blockchain is a peer-to-peer free database which offers us opportunity to transmit our sources and information freely without any central authority, which would have keep the power to something which we co-create. And one of the most famous expressions of blockchain are the cryptocurrencies. So yes, there is Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, whatever. There are many more of them. And I perceive cryptocurrencies as a way how we can freely interconnect, exchange our sources, that is also power, inside our systems. Not only inside our own organizations, but inside our higher holons, between organizations. Let's see that many of us will create a big and stable structures and companies, and then we decide that we somehow are bounded together naturally, you know? And this can help us to change our money immediately without any outer intervention, because we don't need it anymore. Perhaps it may look like a bit controversial from me, but I really feel we don't need it, and we are just in a transmission era right now. And there is another problem: how will you get the money for the new projects? The blockchain and cryptos offer a wonderful thing, which is ICO, initial coin offering. And ICO is about, you have projects, you don't even have a project, you just have a vision, and you may spread quite easily your own currency, and everybody who is interested about it may invest in your ICO and thus can support development of your projects. The ICO, it's not so much liked by the governments today, yes? The question is why? It's because it's really free. Everybody in the world can instantly give you money for your development. Nice thing, this ICO. There are projects like BitNation. BitNation aims to create the world's sovereignty, just the word state, which it works very well in Africa, where the governments cannot, in some countries, cannot take care of the people. So they use the BitNation because BitNation is the platform where you can make your trades. On a BitNation, you can get married, you can sign contracts, whatever. It's based on trust, you know. So people put trust in it, and it helps them as a platform for making those transactions. So, what are the conclusions? Because this is really brief thing. Another thing is, the first thing is whether self-managing organizations can be truly self-managing in a classic state central banking system. Can they? I think they cannot be. I think this thing is part of something bigger. As it is suggested by Wilber, every holon in some point reaches the point where it needs to transcend itself, and the old limitations are becoming so dense, becoming so heavy, that there is either you transcend or you just regrade. So I think this transcendence might occur with our state-based systems in which we live. And another thing is cryptocurrency and blockchain. I think without deep knowledge, without self-managing knowledge, integral knowledge, self-discovery, it may become just another soulless technology, because it is technology. Some people think blockchain will save us, cryptocurrencies will save us, but we need something else for it can save us, because technology cannot save us without our awareness and different approach. So I would like to call now for the co-creators. Do not wait for a company to join. Yes, do not sit and wait. Where is my teal organization which I can join? My suggestion is, do not wait for it. Do not wait for consultants to provide you knowledge. Perhaps you're finding the great teal coach for your company. Well, I think you don't need them so much. Ask yourself how you can contribute to the process which is globally going on, and where your flow is. Take a stance as a student of life, actually, because this is life, this self-managing process. Experiment, risk, welcome pitfall, learn, and create. You may use some universal practices, like tuning to the spirit of organization. Before every meeting, you can close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself what our company wants and what it wants from me, and wait for people to get the answers. And then really interesting things can come up. You would be surprised what people are capable of. They can tune up their radio, you know. You may use advice process. We already somehow know that this kind of compromise is not working so much. So let people initiate what they want, and just guide them to consult it with everyone who is included. And if someone is not feeling well about how this thing goes on, then you switch to conflict management, because you know that you have some different expectations and you need to take care of that. But if there is not anyone who says who is in discomfort, just do it. Don't be afraid. Let people do what they want on your platform. full trust culture. Without trust, we cannot do anything. Mindfulness, kindness, self-compassion, science-based, deep ways how to make people stronger and more aware. Mutual appreciation. If you just start to appreciate each other in your companies, it will help you to be connected very much. And listening to nature, because nature is what actually creates starts to create companies today. And ways to consider for you. I would like to consider you to not use job titles anymore. In Mindfulness Club we have only one job title, and that is the co-creator. We don't have any other job titles. I would like to provide you to consider the acceptance of the payments and payrolls in cryptocurrencies. That is the way how you can actually keep your transaction and sources inside, no matter where it's inside your companies or your net of companies. You can use financing in cryptos by ICO, and interesting thing, no changing back to fiat money, no changing back to classic money. So you can create parallel systems. Part of the system is in the classic system, but part of the system is in the cryptos. So you take the money from cryptos and you pay the people by cryptos, and you buy the stuff and products from other crypto-based projects, and that is the way how you create free economy. Joint ownership and non-existence in the old system. That is the most controversial, you know? Someone says that people will suffer if we just create nice system between each other and just don't take care of them. But I think the threshold of maturity is about conscious decision where we're gonna go. And I think if we create the caring systems, we will create for our parents, you know, for the local people. We just cannot, you know, do not care about them. So I think this way is caring, but it's about deciding where we're going to put our attention and energy. So I think the time of the rule of elites is coming to an end. And it's time for the rule of communities. And I think that is the way how we can really create this eco-friendly, sustainable new society. Someone calls it New Earth. Because there is so much going on if we go in this process, because what I've been just talking about is only developmental, but there is the spiritual dimension as well. And perhaps I will talk about it in next conference 2 years later. I will experiment and take the pain in projects in Prague, and then we may share some more. One last thing for me. If you are afraid that the storm is coming, and it does in some way, just relax, because the setting sun, the sun which is coming out, is beginning of the new dawn. So thank you for your attention.